She spent years teaching millions of people that connection doesn't need words. Now the entertainment world is trying to process her loss without any. Kaylee Hottle, the young deaf actress who brought Gia to life in Godzilla vs. Kong, has died at just 18 years old. And what her father said in the hours after losing her has left people across Hollywood and far beyond it completely speechless. This isn't just a story about a tragic accident. It's a story about how one family chose to respond to it. Stay with me, because the ending here isn't what you'd expect. Before we get into what happened, it's worth understanding who Kaylee Hottle actually was. Born into a 4-generation deaf family, she grew up a native speaker of American Sign Language, long before she ever stepped in front of a camera. She attended the Texas School for the Deaf in Austin, where she was known not just for academics, but for track and field. And in 2021, everything changed when casting director Sarah Hallie Finn cast her as Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong. With almost no spoken dialogue, Kaylee carried one of the most emotionally powerful roles in the entire franchise, and she did it through sign language alone. She reprised the role in 2024's Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, earning a Saturn Award nomination along the way. This wasn't a background casting decision. This was representation done right, and audiences felt it. Now, here's what happened. According to the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, in the early hours of Tuesday, July 21st, Kaylee was one of 3 people in a 1995 Honda Accord traveling through Ijamsville, Maryland. Just before 3 a.m., the vehicle went off the right side of the road and struck a concrete culvert. Officials say excessive speed is believed to have been a contributing factor. The driver, a 19-year-old man, survived with injuries that weren't life-threatening. The other passenger declined medical treatment at the scene. Kaylee was rushed to a nearby trauma center. According to the Maryland Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, she died from multiple blunt force injuries, and her manner of death was officially ruled an accident. Her father, Joshua, later revealed something even harder to hear. He said Kaylee's heart stopped before she ever reached the hospital.
Godzilla vs. Kong actress Kaylee Hottle has passed away at the age of 18. You may remember her as the little girl from the 2021 and 2024 movie who uses sign language to communicate. Kaylee was born to a multi-generational deaf family, and she is a very talented actress. In fact, whenever she was in the movie, she worked alongside Alexander Skarsgård, who said it was her first movie, and he said it's fascinating how comfortable she is in front of the camera and how quickly she takes notes from the director. He'll explain something and she'll be like, got it, then she'll just do it, and everyone's like, what the, how did she's so professional and just incredibly, there's so much going on her face, her expression, and the subtleties of that is fascinating to watch. This week, her father had a call that she had passed away in a tragic car accident. Her heart stopped on the way to the hospital, and he was in Texas, so he had to make the flight to Maryland to recover her body. I can't imagine what her family's going through, and may she rest in peace, sweet, beautiful girl.
When the news broke, tributes came in fast. The Texas School for the Deaf called her passing a tremendous loss for their community and offered counseling to students who needed it. Fans flooded social media with clips from her performance as Gia, many saying it was the first time they'd seen genuine deaf representation in a blockbuster franchise done with this much care. Industry voices echoed the same sentiment, remembering her not just for her talent, but for what she made possible for other deaf performers watching from home. Kids who now had proof that this path was open to them too. But here's the part of this story that's actually stopping people in their tracks. It's not another detail about the crash. It's what Kaylee's father did next. In an emotional video posted in American Sign Language, Joshua Hottle didn't just share the news of his daughter's death. He addressed the 19-year-old driver directly. He said, "I have forgiven you. Don't let this incident ruin the rest of your life." Read that again. A father, hours into the worst day of his life, chose to reach out and release the person responsible rather than condemn him. He went on to say he was very grateful for the 18 years we had together and wish we had more. That's not a scripted PR statement. That's a real human being choosing compassion in the middle of unimaginable grief. And it's the reason this story has resonated so far beyond the entertainment world.
We just had a huge loss to the Godzilla community. It's been confirmed this morning that Kaylee Hottle passed away in a car accident at only 18. I mean, anyone in the Godzilla community knows who this is. She played as Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Life is unfair, man. Life is, it's crazy how you blink and then we get news like this. I mean, I tried seeing if there were other movies that she was in, because admittedly I had only known her for the Godzilla Kong movies, right? And these, as far as I could see, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, these are the only 2 projects that she was in. The only 2 movies that she was in. And for her to be that young and have such a monumental role, like because she had a very important role in both those movies. Like she was destined to, like, she was already great, but she was destined for so much more, you know. And I don't know.
What's easy to miss in all this is that Kaylee wasn't handed her breakout role out of nowhere. Long before Godzilla vs. Kong, she was already working, appearing in commercials and advocacy projects built around deaf awareness. She even had a small role in a 2021 episode of Magnum P.I. But this wasn't a case of a kid stumbling into fame. Casting director Sarah Halley Finn specifically sought her out for Gia, a role that required someone who could carry real emotional weight without relying on spoken dialogue. That's not an easy thing to cast, and it's not an easy thing to perform. Kaylee did both, and she was just getting started. At the time of her death, she was scheduled to appear in an upcoming thriller called What Doesn't Kill Us, meaning there was more work already lined up, more roles she was stepping into. For a young actress who came up through advocacy work and commercials before landing one of the biggest franchises in Hollywood, this wasn't the peak of her career. Industry watchers say it was still early days, with plenty more to come. Here's why this story matters beyond the entertainment headlines. For years, Hollywood has talked about representation without always following through. Kaylee's casting as Gia wasn't a token gesture buried in a franchise. It was a lead emotional arc in a massive blockbuster, carried by a genuinely deaf actress using real ASL, not a hearing performer approximating it. That distinction matters enormously to the deaf community, and it's part of why her death has hit so hard beyond just fans of the films. The Texas School for the Deaf, where she was a senior, didn't just mourn a former student. They mourned someone who had become proof that this path was actually possible. For young deaf performers watching from home, wondering if there was room for them in an industry that rarely made room, Kaylee was the answer. Her performance didn't rely on a gimmick or a marketing angle. It relied on genuine talent and genuine representation. And that's exactly why the loss is being felt so far outside of typical entertainment circles right now.
This is probably the saddest thing you'll hear today, but apparently Kaylee Hottle from the King Kong vs. Godzilla movie has sadly passed away in a car accident. Yeah, I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm just as shocked as you. It happened this morning. Apparently she got in a car wreck, and then obviously she didn't make it out alive, and sadly, she's not here with us anymore. Dude, bro, like, she was supposed to carry on the legacy, man, because I'm pretty sure they're coming out with a new movie soon, and she was that little girl in the movie that was, like, King Kong's best friend, and now this happened? It is just genuinely so sad to see, man, because literally nothing is promised tomorrow. Like, it happened in the morning of today, like, as we're speaking today. This took place. It really just has me taking a step back and just put it into perspective, man. Like, dude, this is our one life. Like, we can't take it for granted. Once again, man, definitely rest in peace to Kaylee. I feel terrible for her family, man. That is just such a hard thing to go through. Something like that, man. And she was only 18, bro. Like, come on. So definitely rest in peace to her. Hopefully you don't take today for granted or the next day, because you never know what can happen.
Kaylee Hottle's career was still just getting started. She had a role lined up in the upcoming thriller What Doesn't Kill Us, and by every account, she was only beginning to show the industry what she was capable of. But even in her short life, she changed something real. She proved a deaf actress could anchor one of the biggest franchises on the planet, not as a token, not as a gimmick, but as one of its most emotionally resonant characters. And in the way her family chose to respond to her death, they showed the same thing she showed on screen, that the most powerful moments don't always need loud words behind them. Our thoughts are with Kaylee's family during this time. Rest in peace, Kaylee.